The next topic is the Switch 2.
Oh, that's right.
So this is
Do you have yours yet?
I haven't picked it up yet. This is a big topic. We're trying to stick to about 15 minutes each topic today. I'm not sure if we have time. I wanted to talk about this because the rumor mill is going crazy. It's been going crazy for years.
Oh, yeah.
But-
I've been talking about this since like 2019.
Things are seeming really legit this year.
I think there's all kinds of like, keep seeing otaku posts or
Kotaku.
Kotaku. I was like, hang on, that's not right. Kotaku.
I thought you meant just like random otakus are posting about it, which is also true.
But keep seeing Kotaku post about it. I've seen like Game Informer post like leaks say, insider people say, and I'm like, okay. Just like we're probably also gonna get Let's Go Johto, and I don't know how to feel about that.
Oh, really? People are saying that?
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people are saying we're probably gonna get Let's Go.
I'm sorry, Dakota.
I'll probably play that one just because I like it.
I hate to ever say someone's opinion's invalid, but you did not play Let's Go for Eevee and Pikachu, right?
I didn't. I just don't like the
So
Pokemon catching
your
mechanic.
Opinion's invalid.
I just don't. I've seen the Pokemon catching mechanic, and I don't like
I
it.
don't like it either. I hate it, but I'm telling you that game is
How do you level up?
It is amazing. There's still battles. You still have tons of battles.
Oh.
We can't get into this.
Okay.
We don't have time for this.
Well, I'll probably like it better. I'm not honestly. I think Gen 1 is one of the weakest as far as Pokemon go.
Completely agree. I don't think that's a controversial opinion. People have nostalgia for it, but it's
Like it's got some. But I mean, you look at some of those Pokemon. I mean, there's gems in there, but you look at them and you're like, what is this?
It's the weakest as far as a lot of design stuff. A lot of those Pokemon are just real life animals made with powers, and the world design is weak in Gen 1. But that's a Pokemon topic, and that's our next thing. We're here to talk about the Switch 2.
Okay, we'll go on to that.
What do you want out of a Switch 2? This is 2024. Things have developed a lot with the Steam Deck and with other similar
battery.
consoles. Longer battery. Now, you have the original Switch.
I have both, actually. The only one I don't have is a Lite. My little brother has a Lite, though.
So you have one with the longer battery.
I have the OLED.
What's the battery on the OLED?
It's like 4.5 hours, I think. I did
So
not
that's
get that
better.
one that had the I didn't get the red box.
Yeah, they did a
Switch.
refresh, the red
Yeah, I didn't
box
get the
one.
refresh one with the better.
Me neither.
When I went, they didn't have that, and I wanted to switch real bad, and I just got the first one I saw.
I get it, for sure.
And I didn't feel like shopping around.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, mine was launched. I bought mine the day it came out or 2 days after it came out.
I remember that.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to, and the hype got me. And I remember going to Target in the morning and waiting in line, and I'm like, F it, I'm getting it. But yeah, I agree with you. Longer battery.
Longer battery. I did want to say better screen, but man, the OLED screen is beautiful.
So the rumors right now are that the Switch 2 is not OLED.
Interesting.
Those are like there's no confirmed rumor, obviously, but the leaks right now.
Also, I know it's OLED.
I hear people say both.
I know, but for the snobs.
OLED. It's not OLED is what the leaks are saying right now. Does this bother you or?
I'll have to see how it looks if it's not, because I love the screen. I didn't think I'd notice it, but the screen is bigger. Bigger screen.
Yeah.
Definitely want a bigger screen.
Well, that's also part of the rumors now. Part of the leaks is it's bigger and not OLED.
I'm guessing OLED is no LED maybe might save on battery life or cost,
For sure.
because the OLED is it's like $50 more
Yeah.
because of the screen. And oh man, wouldn't think it, but that screen looks so good. Have you played on an OLED?
I've never seen an OLED. Of course, my Vita was OLED,
That's
but I've
true.
never seen it on a Switch.
On a Switch OLED, the Vita's a smaller screen.
Yeah.
So you know how fun that intro for Persona 4 is on the Golden on the
Golden is beautiful on that OLED.
scale that up on the Switch, because like I said, I was watching it on the Switch and was like, oh, this is so colorful and beautiful and vibrant. And I was having a lot of fun watching it, and I was like, can't wait to put it on my TV. I have a 70-inch TV at home. I was like, can't wait to put it on there. And I was disappointed.
Yeah. When I see footage of Golden online, because I'm playing Persona 3 Reload right now, so I've watched some footage of Golden because that was my first one. I'm like, is this Golden or is this original Persona 4? Because it looks so gray and ugly. But when I played it on the OLED on the Vita, it was gorgeous. Oh my God. But I agree with you. I think taking the OLED out saves on cost. We got to remember Nintendo is in the business of selling to little kids, and they want to get Switches to everyone in the family. Parents are less likely to spend a ton of money on something for their kid that's just going to get maybe broken. Kids are rough with stuff. It makes sense to have the first model cheaper. That's always been Nintendo's style. Then in a couple of years, we'll have the Switch 2 OLED.
They'll do the Switch 2 Mini.
Exactly.
The Switch 2 Lite. If they do a Switch 2 Mini, make that thing compatible with a TV.
Why would they?
Cause man, I mean, there are people like my aunt who bought my little brother his Switch Lite.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a clue that it didn't work with the TV.
Does it not say it on the box?
No, not that I'm aware of. And it's not. That's obviously they should have done the research, but I always tell them, if you have video game questions, ask me, please. And they never do.
I mean, that's the complicated thing because everything is available. You can do your own research on things, but Nintendo has to also know that people won't.
Mm-hmm.
Older people buying this as a gift, they won't.
Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. And he's had that thing for about 3 years now. He's only just now started getting a library because I kept telling people, get him games. You know what he had? He had Paw Patrol, Mario Kart, and Cars the video game.
I mean, Mario Kart's enough to sustain you for a while, but
for 3 years?
I mean, Nintendo they launched it 10 years ago. They seem to think so.
We got him that in 2022, so he's only had that for a little over a year now. And he's had the Switch for 2.
Okay.
So
I see. Oh.
So before that, he had Paw Patrol, Cars the video game, and I think he might have had a Need for Speed game.
So what about power on the Switch 2? Where do you think we're going compared to what other things?
Well, so the way I've always liked to compare Nintendo and their handhelds, because let's be real, that's what a Switch is. It's their handheld,
right?
Current handheld. It's their
console.
It's their hybrid.
Yeah. It's all I need. I don't need anything.
It's everything.
Yeah.
So the way I kind of put this algorithm, whatever you want to call it, in my head years ago. So when you had the Game Boy was the Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got the Game Boy Color, and I'll firmly die on the hill that the Game Boy Color is a different model of the Game Boy than the regular Game Boy.
It is. There's no dying on that hill.
I've watched a bunch of videos where a bunch of people say that the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color are just the same thing.
There are games that only work on the Color.
I know. Believe me, I don't get it either. But there are people who will argue with you on this.
Okay.
So I'm dying on that hill. So Game Boy Color, I say that is the handheld version of an NES.
Agreed, completely.
Now you go up one.
Mm-hmm.
The Game Boy Advance. That's your handheld version of the SNES. And now each one is about a generation behind the current console.
Yeah.
So when the Game Boy Advance was around, that was, I guess, generation or two, about 2 generations behind. When the Game Boy Advance was around, that was when the GameCube era was going. So then you move forward. You got the Wii and the DS. Now the DS at this point, that's a handheld 64 because you can play Mario 64 on that.
So what you're getting at here is that the Switch 2 is a handheld.
I gotta figure
PS4.
Yeah, I would say it could if we're going by that, I think we should be able to at least handle late PS3, early PS4.
It's not good enough. It's not.
But I think that's where we're going.
It's not their handheld though. It is their console.
But
they present it as a console. They call it a console.
Uh-huh.
So I don't think we can do that.
I'm talking in terms of graphic and what it can handle. What I think it's going to be able to handle.
You're being realistic, and I think you're right. But like, what I think it needs to be is on par with or better than the Steam Deck.
I agree with you there. I just don't know if it's going to be. I don't want to say it's not. I don't want to say I don't think it is because they've had 7 years to perfect this.
Yeah.
Now, I honestly don't think there's any excuses to where it couldn't at least be on par with the current Steam Deck.
It should. The Steam Deck came out 2 years ago. It should be on par with that at least. I know it's 2 years old, but come on, guys, Nintendo's always behind. Nintendo's not going to put out something that's stronger than the Steam Deck. I would be shocked.
It needs to be at least on par, but I don't think it's going to be. I think we're going to have it. I really think it's going to be PS4 level because they're always about, in terms of power, they're usually about a generation behind. They usually are, which is awful because, I mean, think about it. The current Switch, it can handle it can play Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
But do you really want to play where everything looks like a potato?
No. It needs to be like Steam Deck.
That's what it needs to be. I just don't know if it's going to be. Like you said, realistically, I think that's where we're going. But I think, and it's gonna sell well no matter what.
Oh, it's
And
Nintendo.
They're in the lead right now, currently, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I don't stay caught up with
Which worries me because every time Nintendo does well, the next one does bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Switch. I mean, not Switch. Wii U. Oh no, N64 and GameCube both did bad.
Yeah, but they were both great.
Yeah, but this happens so often. Like they get, at least if we're going off of the success of the Wii and then to the Wii U, they get stuck in these patterns where they get complacent, I feel like. And then they think, oh, we're all good. We got a great idea.
Well, and it doesn't help that they have also got 2 hit theme parks now.
Yeah.
Their first hit movie ever,
Mm-hmm.
which
Working on the next hit.
I just watched that again recently, by the way.
I've watched it 3 times, I believe.
Me too.
It's so good.
It came out. I put it on as background noise, and then just while I was packing. Then we had a friend over who hadn't seen it, and we're like, "Oh, let's watch it." And then the other day, I was like, "Put that on as background noise again."
You know, Nate hadn't seen it. I showed it to him in Japan.
Yeah, he was staunchly he was boycotting Nintendo.
Well, I made him watch it, and he enjoyed it.
Told him he would.
Yeah, I remember he was boycotting Nintendo, and yeah, that's another topic. We don't
Yeah.
need to get into that. Oh, I had another question about the Switch too. Oh, are we still using Joy-Cons? Are our Joy-Cons moving over to the Switch 2, or is there a new controller setup? Are they still removable? What's this situation like?
I think they've struck gold with the Joy-Con thing.
Other than drift,
Other than drift, I think we're probably going to get an updated Joy-Con that has
I hope.
better. I think we're not gonna. That's. Do you know how much money they're making selling Joy-Con, Cody?
That's true. Are
We're
we
not
getting
gonna stop making Joy-Con,
real haptic
I'm
feedback?
huh?
Are we getting real haptic feedback?
Like with the PS5 controller?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be cool. I haven't even touched one yet.
Neither have I.
I really want to because I've heard that like when you pull the trigger, it feels like you're actually pulling a trigger.
Yes, and
I'm
it will like resist you, and like
that's pretty cool.
it's neat.
I feel like it's gonna break like after.
I
Like
guess
a
if you're
year.
going crazy on it, if you're like, no, I want to press it harder. Do you think we're getting that?
That would be cool. I don't want to get expectations too high. I think it's more or less they're gonna have the drift issue fixed, and
I hope.
I want them to be backwards compatible with the old Switch, but knowing how Nintendo is, I don't think that's probably gonna happen.
I think we've reached an era where it's gotta be, but it probably won't be, right? Because that's how
Probably not.
Nintendo
I
is.
mean, think about it. Just with the way they do charging cables for the DS.
Well, that was back in the day,
But still, I mean, think about that. When Nintendo wants to, they could. Now, of course, the Switch has the USB-C like plug-in,
yeah,
which is more or less universal now. Even iPhone's moving to that.
yeah, because they were forced to.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
But I had a whole point. Lost it. ADD.
They screw over their customers.
Yeah. They like let's going back to the DS and 3DS,
Mm-hmm.
or even DS Lite. The DS had the original DS had the exact same charger as the Game Boy SP, Advance SP. It's the exact same charger.
Okay.
Then they did the DS Lite. It's smaller, so they had to change the charger for that. That I get. That's fine. It's a lot smaller, more compact. Well, then they did the bigger one, and they gave a new charger for that one, I'm pretty sure. Well, then they did the 3DS, and that has its own charger. And then I think that's where they stopped. I think every 3DS and 2DS charger is interchangeable.
Pretty sure.
But after that, it's just like, where does it stop?
No. I think the 2DS charger is different. On my 2DS XL, I'm pretty sure it's different.
See, again, there. Like,
but I'm not even sure.
I've already bought all these chargers and have all these chargers. Why are you making me buy more chargers, Nintendo?
I just feel like with the backwards compatibility thing, I think you're right. It's not going to be backwards compatible. They're going to get rid of their whole current eShop. It's not going to move over.
I think the games will be. I think you'll be able to play Mario Odyssey on the Switch 2.
I doubt it.
I think you will be able to.
I hope.
I'm not gonna get my hopes up for it, but I do think that you probably will be because you could play because they did Wii U was backwards compatible.
Yeah, and then the Switch wasn't. Like even
That's
for
because
the
they were-
even for the eShop, they
That's
didn't move any of it over.
That's because they were porting so many old things. I think.
So you'll buy it again. So they'll port it again. This is Nintendo's strategy. Just port it again. Here's Mario Odyssey Pro or whatever.
That's
Like
fair. How about just a new Mario Odyssey?
I don't trust them. Maybe it will be backwards compatible, and I feel like it has to because PS5, the new Xbox, and then PC obviously is always backwards compatible. So every bit of the competition is backwards compatible now. But Nintendo seems to never look at the competition. They don't seem to care.
Also, we've been saying this for a while. Give me another 3D Mario. We just got Mario Wonder, and it's fun, but it's just another side-scrolling Mario to me.
I think we're getting it this year. I think it's coming with the Switch too, honestly.
I hope so.
Because they're gonna want to ship it with something big. We just got Tears of the Kingdom, so it's not gonna be a new Zelda, and it's been more than long enough for the next 3D Mario. I think it's coming.
You know what? They're probably also gonna soon, hopefully, talk about Metroid Prime 4.
That's also gonna be on the Switch too. I guarantee you. Yeah, those are.
They
early.
announced that 7 years ago, Cody.
I realize.
7 years ago.
A couple more quick questions, and then we got to move on.
Yeah.
First, this is a dream. Will we somehow get some semblance of a virtual console back with Switch 2? Or is it dead? Is the dream dead?
See, I never really got to do much with the Virtual Console.
Okay, but you understand what it is, right? You buy the old games, you get them. You don't have to sign up to some subscription service where they put random
Like on
games
the Wii?
Yeah, it's like on the Wii and Wii U.
Okay, I guess I did do a little bit of that because I do still have some Virtual Console games on my Wii U.
Yeah, it's just old games that you bought and you have them. You own them.
Which is part of the reason I still have my Wii U. But
Is it dead?
my Wii U?
No, is Virtual Console dead? Or is there some chance we
Oh
get
yeah, no, it's they're gonna keep because they have their subscription now.
It's too much money to be made from
Yeah,
the
they have
subscription.
that subscription service, and
Dead and buried.
I haven't played a whole lot of it, but I mean the prospect of I'm just subscribed for $80 a year. What's that like? $7 a month or something?
Yeah, but Virtual Consoles were like
I
a
know.
couple of bucks for a game,
I know. I'm saying like
and you own it.
I'm saying like wow, I lost my point. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, well, moving on then really quickly. I just want predictions before we move on. When is this getting announced? When is it releasing? What
Well,
do you think?
they've got a direct coming.
They do.
But
But they have to.
They also have a Pokemon direct coming, or Pokemon Day or something. We're getting a direct and a Pokemon announcement this month.
We're talking about that in the next part. We'll get to Pokemon. Yes, we have to be getting a direct because the end of their fiscal year is always in March. So they've got to announce something big before the end of March, right?
Yeah.
You think the Switch 2 gets announced before the end of March? So we're talking within about a month.
I think so. I mean, that's when they announced the last Switch was around this time. I remember you and I were getting
Yeah.
off work. It was
Yep.
about this time
Because it's the end of their fiscal year. Yeah.
because and then it was released about a year later.
No, it was
Actually-
released later that year.
No.
Yeah. It was a few months later. It was in like fall when it was released.
But
Was it
released
not?
No, it was released in 2017.
When was it announced?
Maybe it was announced in fall. That might have been what it is. I know it was cold, so I can't remember if it was like spring, winter going to spring, or fall going to winter.
Ah, okay. Yeah. It's the other way around. Yeah, no. It came out in March. It
Okay.
came out in March. It was announced October 20th. Yeah, that's totally right. It
Okay,
came out
so we
right
got
before
our
the end.
information backwards. and
Okay.
we're, misremembering, but yeah.
So there's a chance that I think there's a huge chance this is announced within the next month and comes out at the end of this year, or the other way around, it's announced at the end of this year again, comes out early next year. It's going to be around the fiscal year for one of them.
I don't know I can't say pretend to know business, but I personally think that the smart move would be to at least announce it
Mhm.
Be like, this is coming. More information later this year.
I think the smart move is announce it now. It comes out before Christmas because I think it was dumb. Well, not dumb. I mean, the Wii U wasn't selling anyway, but announcing the Switch in October, that just says don't buy anyone anything for the Wii U for Christmas. So their Christmas sales die because it's like there's a new console on the horizon. But Switch is still doing well, so you don't want to cannibalize that at Christmas time. So announce it now, have the new one come out for
And it would be
Christmas.
smart too, because then they'd have two really hot selling consoles. People still be buying Switches
For sure.
and Switch games because if it's not backwards compatible, they're gonna have to keep buying the old games with the old Switches, and that's just more money in Nintendo's pocket. Unless you get the used one like I did.